Okay, so this vlog is a follow-up vlog to the one prior. So this is about 3 days ago, and I'm recording this because I wanted to clarify a attitude nuance that I made in the previous video. Previous video, I basically said made it seem as if maybe I was approaching things in a very naive way, as if I don't know what's out there, not you know yeah, that I don't know what's out there and that I'm prepared to fail uh, harshly, but I want to disabuse that. In other words, tell you what I'm really trying to go for. So, although the finance books that I'm reading right now are probably going to help me in the in the long term, it's not going to be every day I'm going to be reading a finance book. And also, it's not going to be every day I'm going to be reading or I'm going to be studying for the FE and the GRE. All these things I'm doing right now are very temporary, and when school's done, that's it. So basically what I'm doing right now is I'm just doing everything I can to finish school so that it can open up doors for whatever I would want to do. Right now, I actually have a passion for structural engineering, and which means not necessarily that it's useful, that's a useful aspect for it, but it actually means that my mind is more focused on different aspects of structural engineering than other things such as finance. And so when I start working, I'm gonna probably on my free time I'm gonna just be reading research papers or maybe going through theory, so because I like it. That's related to structural engineering. So, and not only that, but I might even come up with my own inventions. I I have a few ideas for inventions, and that's what I want to do. Want to be able to get some patents, and that'd be cool. But nothing's guaranteed. If you have an idea, it may not be. You have to fight for it, but it may not be. It may not come to fruition, just logically, or even based on intuition. Um, Although if you have an intuition for it to not happen, I would say that's basically negativity. Something you don't want for as far as going with inventions. You don't want to be intuitive. You don't want to intuitively say something's wrong or something's not going to happen. Um, that's almost just negativity, because I mean that's the status quo when it comes to inventions. It's almost doing the opposite of invention. But anyway, the so yeah, that's all I wanted to. The only point I had for this video is to say that I'm not just this naive guy trying to waste my time, but that's basically what I would be doing every on my free time. And if the job is, and if it gets really stressful, I would just inevitably go far away. I would just go on vacation to like Cabo San Lucas or something like that, just because I know that it's healthy to travel when you're stressed out. It's I've somehow learned that it is, and somebody that I know, particularly my mother, doesn't do that at all. She's the most stressful person ever, and gives into the negative parts associated more than anyone I know. So it's pretty evident to me that even though there's no, I can believe it, even though there's no like hard numbers involved, quantitative anything number involved, that yeah, going far places, go on vacation is a must when it comes to mitigating stress levels, and so that would be what I would be doing. But when I'm on vacation in general, I would be, or even in my own time, I would be reading research papers related to my major, and that gets me ideas. I'm a very extremely surprised at myself these days. Whenever if I'm not in the analysis or design mode, if I don't know how it necessarily how it happened, but as of my recent habit of quitting, not only quitting smoking, but being more focused on my major, and also basically just reducing all anything else that doesn't have to do with that, or reducing anything else that doesn't have to do with future possibilities. That is allowing me somehow to get a lot of ideas. I don't know how it happened, but getting a lot of ideas for inventions, and they're ideas that are not that you can definitely that somebody else might be able to see as a good possibility in the major, but it just comes in like a storm. Now, whenever I read research papers or things that have been done, since I understand what they're talking about, it just comes in the ideas, and so I enjoy reading them. It's not just dense material to me; it's very technical papers. It's a benefit to me. I actually enjoy it, and it gives me good ideas for possible inventions and what perhaps other things too. But whereas before, if I read it, I would say maybe like 3 years ago or something, when I was smoking and stuff like that, or maybe even 4 or 5 years ago, it would just be I would spend a great deal of time just trying to get the imagery in, and that's very easy now. I can see what they're talking about very quickly, and thus I can see ways that it can be configured. You know what I mean? So so I already have some ideas for inventions, and I don't really want to say what they are, but it's something that I'm surprised is not out there already. It's a lot of the times it seems like these creative aspects of yourself sort of come in as if it should be obvious, but then other people, but then you realize, oh yeah, it actually hasn't been done, and that's basically like what I see in being inventive is all about. Sort of like filling in holes that you feel that should be there, but I'm not expecting to invent anything. It's just on my own time. What I would be doing is I would be getting the necessary materials. I would go in my garage and spend a lot of time in there, and then that would be the implementation process. But a lot of it would be in a notebook first, and then the implementation process would occur, and then I would write down what I see as not working, and perhaps how it could be tweaked, and I would have everything recorded, and it would be sort of scientific, but the reason why, even if it doesn't work, why the records there are important is because somebody else might be able to look at it and say, oh, well, he could have just done that, and then they could credit me, and then they could credit the other person. You see how it works? So that would basically only be if I can't think of anything else, and I might put it away for a while, those ideas. And you might say, well, I'm a little bit crazy for trying to do this. This is what insane, like, not necessarily insane people, but people did in the 1800s, and you have occasionally people doing this, and where they have to be extremely isolated, and they have to there's so many different things. They have to be really smart and things like that. But for me, it's more about my focus, my passion about it, my focus, the fact that it just doesn't get out of my head. These things that I really enjoy, and that I just want to keep advancing through it. So it's not just about being smart for me. It's something I want to actually do. So thanks for watching.